last time on Renascence, right? You guys had been bumming around the town of Gladden. You had been doing some work for locals. You cleared out a big mine full of horrible spider people. That was a big deal. You made a lot of money off of that, or you will make a lot of money off of that. I think you still need to cash that in once the mines are cleared
We do
for
need to
a
do
final pass.
another sweep.
Right, we're hiding from the guy because we told him it would be like a day or two, and it's going to be more than that.
So to avoid dealing with that fallout, you decided let's go deep into the jungle.
In our defense, I'm pretty sure the miner said like if you go in there within like a week, you might die. So
yeah, no, it was the right call. Miners know how tunnels work, and
we had some free
In
time.
double defense,
if you light a big fire in a mine shaft, you're gonna have a problem with.
in double defense, we had to kill all those eggs.
No, it's fine. It's fine. They're not complaining. It's really just the swanky mine man. But that's neither here nor there. You guys decided to follow up on another lead with a bartender whose friend was missing a valuable heirloom, her box of tools. You track those tools down to the seemingly abandoned gatewatch outpost in this town and discovered a trove of what appeared to be stolen goods guarded by a group of strange, seemingly fey creatures. After conversing with them, and learning that they were servants of the gatekeeper, dispatched to send a message to the town of Gladden, expressing the gatekeeper's dissatisfaction. You guys began really kind of pressing the local leadership for answers as to what was going on exactly. You got yourselves a meeting with the elders of Gladden, and you learned that the elders and the gatekeeper had a long-standing relationship wherein the gatekeeper managed the border realm between Gladden and the Feywild, a mysterious realm of incredible life and magic, seemingly blending with the material world here on the island, where the veil is very thin, and it's very easy to pass back and forth between the two realms. And up until recently, things had been kosher, but the gatekeeper in the past month made a strange request. And as you guys learned, a young man named Duto was dispatched to satisfy the demand of the gatekeeper, and he returned changed for the worse, it would seem, lacking a proper sense of self, of key memories, of belonging to his community. He had isolated himself in his home and numbed himself out with smoke and drink. And seeing him in this state, you guys resolved to make the trip into the jungle, track down the gatekeeper, and put an end to this unsavory situation one way or another. You were able to enlist the assistance of the local hunter, Adlar, who you had crossed paths with a few times already, learning that he was a close friend of Duto's, and bringing him up to speed on what you knew. He was very eager to join you, and you guys set out the next morning on the 33rd of the month here in Inama, and set off down the dirt road through the center of the island into the jungles, following the path to Boronor, waylaid by a couple of wild Kamadan, jaguar creatures wreathed in serpents. You withstood a stampede of boars. You turned off the path to Boronor and made your way northwards into the deep jungle along a long deserted road. You crossed a very, very precarious ancient stone bridge that spanned a misty gorge with seemingly no issues, thanks to your magic and ingenuity. And you proceeded a little further into the jungles before the sun began to grow too low to see properly in the dark, and you decided to set up camp. That night at camp, you were greeted on your first watch by a strange little woman, either a halfling or a dwarf, with this strange sort of mottled green skin, sort of heavy, ragged robes, lots of greenery and shrubbery sort of seemingly to kind of grow out of sort of the hem and tresses of her garment and head wrap. And she introduced herself to you all as, I believe it was Anticotum. And she introduced herself as the former gatekeeper. And speaking with her, you learned that she had been overthrown around a month ago by another fey creature known as Sister Comac. And since then, Sister Comac had more or less ruled the border realm as the new gatekeeper. Anticotum had been sort of exiled to the outer jungle. And now that this troop of brave and hardy adventurers approached, she decided it was prudent of her to make contact in hopes that she could enlist you to assist her in reclaiming her former position. So I believe last session, a month and a half ago, it was Burberry and Noel who spoke with her, or was it Aloran and Noel?
Aloran
was
and Noel.
Gotcha.
And the guy that's with us.
And Adlar. Right.
Adlar.
As I recall, the next group to wake up was going to be Burberry, Barnaby, and John. And you guys were in the process of sort of rousing everyone to meet this new individual and sort of continue the conversation as they saw fit. So, we are picking up here. It is dark outside. There are stars faintly visible through the thick canopy overhead. You guys have yourselves a pretty safe, secluded little campsite nested up against sort of a rock face in a somewhat clear thicket deep in the jungle, just off the road. And you are, by the estimates that you were given before you left, at this point probably less than half a day from the gatekeeper's abode. Are there any questions before we begin?
Last step I had written down was head down the precipice, and we know where that kind of is. There's like a path to that area.
Yeah, you guys were on a path. You had stepped off the main road, right? That you took from Gladham onto a less traveled but still, visible sort of back road through the jungle northward.
Okay.
This road continued up to a bridge. You crossed the bridge and continued along that path. And up ahead, not too far away from your current campsite, there are the switchbacks that bring you down to the lowest point of the jungle where this gatekeeper stays.
Okay. I've got no questions beyond that.
All right.
I think we're good to go.
So,
Did we ever find the jaguar?
No.
Aloran can turn into a jaguar now.
yes.
Oh yeah, I can.
Yes, the former gatekeeper was able to conjure a small illusory jaguar in her hand, and seeing that, Aloran did do her darndest. She rolled real good, and she is now able to take the form of a jaguar.
Oh, also,
Good job.
Congratulations.
another thing Aloran rolled good on was an insight check for this gatekeeper, and we did learn that she is being very insightful back at us, like she's trying to read our reactions to her story, and she seems to be trying to garner sympathy specifically. I remember those two things because it seemed important. So I guess keep that in mind.
Okay. I mean, if you got kicked out of your house by a bitch, wouldn't you try to garner sympathy?
Yeah.
It's a fair point.
All right. Well.
So, are we on watch right now, or are we heading out?
So we are in the midst of sort of changing watch. This first group who
Okay.
spoke to her was Noel and Lauren and Adlar. They are at the end of their watch. They're waking the other three members of the party up, Burberry, Barnaby, and John, and are getting ready to get themselves a little bit of sleep before.
Wait, if we wake them all up,
the
don't we
next watch
miss
shift.
a full watch night then?
Adlar is an elf, so he is able to take 2 watches a night.
Okay.
And I believe that I don't recall actually if there was anyone else in the party that can do that.
I don't think so.
But yeah,
Definitely
Adlar
not
can
Johnny.
Adlar can wake up again. If you guys just want to wake up a couple people right now, that's fine. Just
I just remember
is what
specifically
I
waking
recall
up
from-
Barnaby and Burberry, and then we
Gotcha.
had John Adlar on the last watch, but
John is a sleep queen. He needs his 8 hours.
Sure. Okay. So then Burberry and Barnaby are being awoken. And we'll pick up there.
Is that a new face?
Hello.
strong start.
You see this tiny little woman seated across the fire, like her feet not even touching the ground, and she's like kind of kicking on the stone, just kind of like raises her fingers and waves.
Hello. Pleasure to meet you. Cat can't remember. Did we decide call ourselves not our names for this one?
I think you guys already introduced yourselves. I might be wrong, but I think you did.
Yeah, there's something about...
Also, I think it'd be hard to coordinate with sleeping people.
And... No, I meant as we were going into the woods, since we found out that...
I think we talked
Not
about
dead.
it, and we never all really settled on anything. So,
You said you'd be careful about it.
yeah.
I think I went with Maraxby.
Use your best discretion.
We had not used our real names when we introduced ourselves. Like, we used something similar to our real name.
It's possible. I don't remember. I do remember the introduction did take place, and Noelle was very careful in her wording, and the gatekeeper did respect that.
I did not give the old gatekeeper my name. I know that.
Right.
I'm going with Maraxby.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's how... okay. Sorry, I'm trying not to talk too much, so I'm just going to slam you with these all at once.
Sure.
Have fun.
Oh.
Oh, she literally posted in chat.
Kat has bronchitis, so we're going to pretend she's asking questions and just read them off a list, shall we?
Sorry, thank you.
Just go through it like you're narrating.
Oh, good. All right, that's a lot. One at a time, Missy. Holy shit, that's a lot of questions.
And that was just off the top of my head. I'm sure that Burberry would have so many more.
Okay, all right. Tone it down a bit. Gosh, this is a lot. How does one become the guardian of the border? To that, I think she would respond, well, you set up a booth and you start charging a toll. How do you think? It's not like it's, a formal position. I just happen to have formerly been a creature of some power. So I staked a claim and, worked out for a good long while. Till it didn't. Did you have any warlocks in your care? To which she would respond, I'll be honest, I don't actually remember. I've been there for so long. I'm sure we had a few petitioners come through. I handed something or another to. I've given out a lot of gifts over the years, It's kind of just part of the gig. They're somewhere out there. We don't really talk too much. How long have you been alive?
Eons, if I remember correctly.
Since the mountains were but stones on the floors of the oceans, I'm given to understand time in the Feywild moves differently than it does out here. So, it could be longer or shorter from your perspective.
You're telling me I lost 5 years in a matter of hours.
Oh, you poor dear. 5 years. Oh, no.
Oh my goodness.
I don't exactly know how I lost them, Miss Feywild, so exactly where'd your old lady get to?
Well, look, Sonny, 5 years is pocket change around here. You gotta understand that you all right there? You look a little dour.
I just woke up. I'm not doing the best. I'll get there.
All right. Well, if you got any questions too, I guess put them on the list. Does being something similar to a deity simply passed on, or do you continue to be a deity afterward? Oh, now let's slow our roll there, sir. We're not finagling with any sort of celestials or nothing out there in the Feywild. You have folk of power, and you have folk with little power. And that power is in some ways transferable, some innate. But we're creatures of the earth, the land and the sea. These things don't stop being what they are just because someone, dethrones you. But we also draw our powers from sacred places, not unlike my old grove. And without it, I am not quite the guardian that I once was. Which I hope goes to explain my eagerness to get it back. How does one usurp such a being? Not that I have any interest, but it is a fascinating prospect. You watch it, Missy. That question definitely, I think, strikes a chord with her, and she kind of like zeroes in on you, like really, really scrutinizing that blank masked face. Do you want to press the issue on that one, or like explain it, or?
I really have no interest. The last time I tried to deal with anything that was beyond my scope of understanding, it went very, very poorly. I'm merely curious.
It's probably wise of you then, just simply, leave sleeping dogs lie. It's a dangerous question. Brute force is usually a good way to do it, though, for what it's worth. Do you require sustenance like mortals to sustain your being? Will you now that you have lost your deity status? Again, not a god, not a god. Let's get that real clear.
No, I don't. Gods and deity are not the same. Gods are usually above deities. That it's like a sub level of.
Oh, I'm not that cool, am I? Am I not cool enough to be a god anymore? Is that what? Change your tune real quick.
But you just said you weren't a god.
I'm not. Quit casting aspersions. I think to answer your question, though, she will probably just clarify. It's like, we are powerful creatures, but we are still of the land, as I said.
Sorry. I'm mumbling to myself about like what the lesser, like, right? I'm not crazy. There's like there's like gods, and then there's like sacred spirits, and then there's regular there's a ranking.
Okay. I'll say, Burberry, go ahead and make me a religion check. We can get some clarity here.
Oh, that's pretty good. Only character in my life I've ever put any religion into. 22.
22. Ooh. Yeah, I think you definitely pick on the distinction she's making. That she's not the same sort of creature as the beings that the conclave interacts with more. And this is a phrase you probably would have picked up in text as well. Creatures of the earth, spirits of the world. She is a terrestrial being. She is not sort of an external outsider, outer planar creature. The way the greater deities of the pantheon are, or some of the smaller celestial spirits that you commune with are in that way. And from what you understand of the Feywild, it just sort of barely really meets the criteria of like a separate plane. It's almost sort of a reflection of the material world. It's separate, it's apart. You can be in the same place in one while still being totally invisible in the other, based on the stories you've heard. But they are very, very, very tightly linked in a way that sort of the greater celestials and their domains out in the greater cosmos are much more distinct and separate from the material world. So she's not so incredibly different from yourself, the way some of your minor celestial spirits are that you are familiar with. But she is definitely something other. You can already kind of feel sort of the pinpricks on the back of your neck. There's this presence to this tiny creature that is powerful, unsettling, despite her temperament and her outbursts. You definitely get the sense that this is someone who was once quite powerful and is used to having that sort of power readily at their disposal. Which in its own way is not too dissimilar from some gods you've spoken with.
So you said that your power came from the grove that you were in. Does that mean getting you back in your grove would help get your mojo back?
It would certainly be a step in the right direction. Unfortunately, we would also need to break my usurper's attunement to my grove, which is going to be its own ordeal.
Is a grove like a magical item? Can you tune to it in an hour?
It takes a little longer than but the process is pretty similar, actually, now that you pointed out. Thanks for minimizing the importance of my sacred place. I need it. I've spent ages cultivating that space.
The feng shui is just right, and she moved like 3 pieces of furniture to the left by 5 inches.
It was great before she fucked the whole thing up.
She planted azaleas. Can you believe that? Azaleas.
It clashes with the whole aesthetic. I had a thing, and she ruined it.
How exactly are we gonna be able to do this?
Does she also
What do you
have a name like
recommend?
you do?
Okay. What was that, Burberry?
Does she also have a name like you do? We can't just call both of you the gatekeeper. It would make things very confusing later on.
No. She was a nasty old biddy named Sister Comac.
Sister Auntie Kodum and Sister Comac.
As far as getting her out of there, if y'all are up to it, you can kick her ass. I'm down with that. If we're looking for a less violent solution, trickery is always a good way to play with the Fae, if you know what I'm saying. Just, try not to get outplayed. It's an easy thing to do for you mortal folk.
Considering I got tricked out of 5 years, I don't know if I'm going to be the one who will be able to trick her.
You have a name to the fella who done took your 5 years there? It seems kind of like bullying, you know.
No, but I got a picture, not a picture, a drawing of his backside if you want to see it. Barney's going to pull it out.
Am I going to regret looking at this? She takes hold of the drawing.
I think this
He
drawing
looks
is
at
like
it briefly. I don't think so.
Yep, that's a butthole, all right.
Hey, I try and be detailed, all right.
Yeah, no, you really got like every angle on that sphincter there. Yep, right there under the tail.
It might have been important.
You think you're gonna ID a creature by his pink eye? Come on now, let's be serious, boy.
Depends on what kind of eye for detail you got.
She kind of looks over it and she says, "It could be fucking anything, son. You got feathers, you got hairs and scales."
Yeah, I know exactly. That's also the thing that done killed my paw. I'm pretty sure it's the thing that sent me 5 years back.
You sure it wasn't just like a gang of shitty animals?
Nope, it was one thing. It could breathe fire too.
Oh, yeah. Good luck with that. She hands you the paperback.
Wait, that sounds like you might know something about that.
Go ahead and give me an insight check.
Let's see. Oh, that's my bonus. There it is. Alright, so with that bonus, that's not a bonus, it's a 15.
15. Okay. As she hands your picture back, she kind of like pulls back and like crosses her arms, and through this like taut, wrinkled face, you can see there is like one eye kind of like peeping out of those crusty eyelids. Direct eye contact with you. There's definitely almost like an intentional implication there, and you get the sense that she does definitely know something, and she's being intentionally withholding. It's a faint little smirk at the corner of the mouth.
All right. We're gonna play it that way. How about I strike a deal with you?
I like deals.
Say we get you back into rescue your old lady back into the Feywild, right? Tell me all you know about this thing. Sound good?
You get me back into my grove, I can tell you everything I know about what that is.
And that's when she tells you it's a butthole.
You're not just going to tell me it's a butt, is it?
Your paw was abducted by a roving butthole. It's a CR8 creature.
Those are all over the Feywild.
The reason it was breathing fire is because it ate Taco Bell.
Promise me you ain't just going to tell me it's a butt.
Oh, there's a lot more to it than just the butt, son. I'm sure you've gleaned that much already. It's a fearsome creature you've got on that piece of paper there.
Well, it'll take something like that to take down my paw. So, we got a deal. Barnum's going to extend his hand.
To be clear, then, you're going to take me back to my grove, and you're going to put me in charge. And in exchange, I shall reward you with the knowledge of the creature that slew your father. We are in agreement. She will extend her hand, slowly, offering to you.
Only if the you is a blanket term for Barnby plus possibly others.
Yeah, sure. So grab your hand.
Grabs hold.
As you
She
know,
gives-
she could later go, I don't have to tell you. You said you. You didn't say you all.
And with a firm shake, you feel this surprisingly tight, strong grip. These sharp nails digging into the back of your hand. And then a second later, she releases it, pulls back, and kind of shrinks back onto her little stone where she's sitting with a very contented little expression on her wrinkled lips.
Oh, you've been eating good. Good. What's your recipe for gumbo? That you
Gumbo?
make a mean bowl.
Oh, I don't cook. I have people for that. Had.
Well, they must have made good gumbo to get you into shape like that.
You're too kind, my boy.
Oh my god. That's not how much I dislike this lady.
She bats her withered eyelashes at you.
Can I roll insight for just the sheer amount of smugness that's happening here?
Yeah, sure. What are we trying to glean here?
If she's coming by what she wants unfairly.
Okay.
Kind of like, a lion looks smug after he's eaten a sheep.
Sure.
Yeah, no kid. It was 18.
18. There's a touch of perhaps undue self-satisfaction there. Yeah. No, you're not wrong in that that assessment.
We're gonna find out that she was the gatekeeper like 3 gatekeepers ago.
I've got my job back, bitch. You're not getting rid of me for the next century. I'm locked in. It's in the contract. But yeah, no. You definitely pick up on an undue level of smugness over that little interaction there. She does seem quite pleased.
Keep my thoughts to myself for now.
Barnaby, could I get a perception check from you?
We can try that, sure.
You're like, you can try.
I got 11.
I make no promises. An 11.
10 plus 1.
Okay. What is it? Who just beeped? Was that one of you?
I didn't beep.
No. That's something else. I need to find a way to mute all of Discord during D&D nights. There's got to be a way to do that. Okay.
You just change your overall Discord settings.
Got you. With an 11, I think after a moment you'll probably kind of glance down at your hand just because that was a very kind of tight little handshake, and you kind of pull your hand away from rubbing your knuckles, look, and there's a faint little spattering of red, darker red on your fingertips.
They ain't blood, is it?
Kind of smells like it. Kind of look back at the back of your hand. You got looks like those sharp little nails on her kind of punctured the back of your hand in a couple spots. Like she scratched it almost during the handshake.
Oh, I did say she had a good grip. She ate some good gumbo.
Okay.
Barnaby doesn't really regard it as much.
Sure. Oh, Is there anything else that you guys want to discuss with Anticotum? What with the rest of your watch?
I got the rest of what I was wanting.
Okay.
She never answered my question about if she has nieces or nephews.
Oh. She kind of thinks about it. Maybe. I'll be honest, I don't keep in close touch with a lot of my sisters. But I do have a lot of sisters. It's possible.
Well, okay.
All right. Well, kitten. Oh, he's so little. The rest of your watch will pass without incident. As your watch comes to a close, who do you want to wake up for the next shift?
I mean, it's got to be John and Elf Guy, right?
I think so.
All right,
Yep.
John Adler. Sure.
Elf Adler.
Cool. Yeah, John Adler, you're roused from your slumber, and you find that you have been joined by a small green, dwarfy, hobbitly little lady.
Sean lets out a giant fart of surprise. Walks out, she's a little tiny lady. It's like,
Aren't you a tall drink of water? She says as you come out of your tent.
Hi.
Anticotum. She extends a hand to you.
Oh, God.
What, pray tell, is your name, you fine creature?
Hi, I'm Bob.
Bob. What a plain
Yeah.
name for a fantastic set of abs. Look at you. Mm.
They were very inventive at the orphanage.
An orphan, you poor dearie. And no family at all.
Not that I'm aware of.
Come here, boy. I'll be your auntie. She'll beckon you down to
God.
to the stump next to her rock.
How tall is she? Like knee high, waist high?
Oh, she's short. Yeah, no, on you, she's probably like just barely taller than your knee. But she, as you take her hand, you can feel these kind of like bony, leathery fingers taking a tight grasp of you and kind of pulling you over down to the seat next to her, where she's kind of patting her hand. And she'll sit you down next to her, and she'll just say, "So what brings you out to the wild? Same story as the rest of these hooligans."
I'm kind of just following along for the adventure.
Adventure. I like an
You know,
adventurous spirit.
Hitting things with my stick. that kind of stuff.
Well, looks like it's just you, me, and the elf for the next couple of hours.
Yeah.
Sure
That
is.
seems to be the case. Did the hobgoblin leave any food left over? He's a good cook.
I didn't look. Yeah, Barnaby, did you cook anything while you were on watch?
Well, being she didn't have a recipe for gumbo, I guess I might have made something. Made a little midnight snack for myself.
Oh, the leftovers for John.
No, I'd leave some.
You
course
could
I'd
lick
leave
the
some.
bowl.
Yeah, I'd leave some for
All right,
everybody
sure.
else.
There's a little bit of gumbo left over then, sure.
John's gonna see if forget his fucking the elf Adlar. See if he wants some. If not, he's gonna scarf it all down.
When Adlar kind of comes out of his tent and sees her still there and her kind of like starting to really move in on you, there's a very visible look of like mingled disgust and distrust on his face, like just the taut jaw, tight lips. He does not seem very keen on this whole situation, and when you ask him about it, like it takes him a second to like react, like oh you're talking to me. No, I am not hungry. And he will sort of pull back away from the fire and find a seat a little bit further out from the ring where he kind of posts up against a tree. Starts to keep watch, but you see his eyes continually kind of flitting back towards the two of you next to the fire, still with that same kind of taut-lipped expression.
John's going to finish off the gumbo.
I see how you got so big and strong. You got quite the appetite there, Sonny. She'll pat your thigh. You feel these heavy hands, like, kind of...
I can't deal with it. I'm gonna mute myself. I'm not gonna be able to stop. And so I just want you to know, Lauren is in her tent right now, just rolling back and forth extremely uncomfortably. She's just
in her sleep. She knows horrible things are happening outside.
Yes, she just knows.
No.
Stop. Okay, I'm muting myself.
Sure. So who are you again? You said Auntie.
I've told your friends my whole life story already. I'm Auntie Colton, the former gatekeeper. Your friends have agreed to help me out and get my home and my position back.
Somebody stole your home?
Oh yeah, no, it was a whole thing.
It's horrible.
It is, but I'm glad I have a strong, strapping lad like you to help me take it back.
I'll be sure to hit him with my stick.
Johnny's fucking dying.
I'm sure it's a pretty big stick.
Oh yeah, you took the word right out of my mouth. She squeezes your thigh, and you feel these sharp nails kind of dig into your leg through your pants. She looks up through the trees, up through the canopy. Sure are a lot of stars out tonight.
Please be careful of the leather.
Sure, yeah. No, she's got some sharp fucking fingernails.
That's why I'm like, careful of the leather.
Oh, sorry, dearie. Careful with the merchandise. And she very, slowly smooths out the scratches on the leather.
It was my only pair of pants.
Sure would be a shame if something were to happen to him.
Johnny muted herself.
No.
I can still hear her laughing.
Well, you know what's going to happen. John's going to go, how much experience do you have? She's going to go,
yeah,
experience.
So yeah,
John's just obliviously eating his food.
Obliviously eating food.
He has not caught on to what's going on at all.
Sure. I'll say after we'll say half an hour into the watch. This lady is laid it on real fucking thick, and you are just not biting. And you can tell she's starting to get frustrated by the lack of responsiveness to it. She kind of pulls back, kind of crosses her arms a little bit, like a thump against the tree behind her, hard enough to actually like shake branches over your head. Like a couple leaves kind of fall out, and like one hits your bowl. Kind of glance over at her. She's just kind of got her arms crossed.
John just eats the leaf without even thinking.
You just keep eating. And after a second, she will kind of make a big scene of like standing up and stretching her little arms. Oh, well, I better lay these old bones down for the evening, get some sleep before we get going in the morning.
Have a good rest.
Yeah, you too, John. Fucking kind of tromp off on the grass.
She doesn't know my name.
Yeah, she doesn't. Oh, what was that? Oh, grumpy animals. Oh, someday they'll get along. Someday. But yeah, she'll leave you, and as she kind of disappears into the dark around the camp, Adlar will pull himself from his position and approach the fire again, kind of take a seat next to you. I do not like this woman, he says to you.
She seems like a poor old lady that got her house stolen.
She seems like something substantially more sinister to me. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Does she?
Little old lady like that living out here all alone for a month.
No. I mean, I never assume anything was Faye.
And I think that's wise. But I think that there's a lot more going on here than she's letting on.
All I know with those hagnails, she can kill a lion.
She might be able to kill a lot more than that.
Watch out for the gangrene from those nails.
What nails?
Her nails. She almost cut my pants off.
With those stubby little things?
You didn't see those nails?
John, give me another perception check.
Another?
Well, a perception check.
I was like, wait, did I miss a perception check? Oh, crap. 11.
11. Yeah, I think it probably... You were too invested in your food at the moment. Thinking it back, you don't actually recall getting a good look at her hands, but you do recall very strongly the feeling of very sharp nails sticking into your leg.
Now that I think about it, how were her nails? I just remember her almost ruining my pants.
Stubby little things. She did that to you. He's kind of looking over the scratch marks.
I show him the scratch marks. Yeah, like I assumed she had nails. I guess I never actually technically saw them.
He will glance from those scratches back into the brush where she kind of wandered off, and quietly to you, lean in and say, "There's a lot more going on there than I think we can see. We will be very wise to be very careful with her."
Are we even sure she's the old guardian?
I don't have a way to verify that, do you?
Oh. Probably would have been handy to ask the elders to show some kind of portrait.
That would have been nice, yeah. But I don't like this. And I have a mind to tell the rest of your friends as much as soon as I get the chance.
I took the standard precaution and nobody knows my name.
It was wise. I'd keep it that way. He will probably not have much more to say. after that. Is there anything else that you want to say, handle or do over the course of your watch, John?
Just trying to see if I can fix the scratches in my leather.
Yeah. You could probably, start to kind of buff those out of the leather over the course of your watch.
So anybody, do I remember if anybody has men?
Mend? I think Burberry does.
I'll ask him when he wakes up.
Sure. Well, the rest of your watch will proceed without issue, and over the course of the night, despite the occasional distant rustling in the brush or far off echoing distorted animal call, you don't encounter anything dangerous or untoward, and the sun will rise on a new day, and all of you will awaken refreshed from your long rest. So, packing up camp, beginning to make your preparations for the coming day. By the estimates you have on hand as to the distance, you are probably about a half day's journey from the gatekeeper's watch.
Did Auntie Kodum come back out?
Yeah, once the party starts kind of like waking up and milling about the camp, she will kind of reemerge from the brush nearby. And seeing everyone awake now, she's like, "Oh, good, you're all underway, ready to go."
Good morning to you.
Morning, dearie.
Sorry, out of character question, because I don't remember, because we haven't used hit dice in a long time. How many hit dice you get back on a long rest?
Half your hit dice.
Half hit dice.
Half your max hit dice. So if you can carry 4, you would get 2 back.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
So, anybody who needs to prepare spells for the day, druid, cleric, if you want to do that now. Additionally, if there's anything you guys want to do before you leave camp, now's the time to do it.
Burberry, something happened to my pants. You think you can fix it with men?
Uh-oh.
There's not any, goop on it or anything, right?
No, it's the old lady scratched it. Take a look.
Okay, yes, I believe I can fix that for you.
I look at the old lady.
She's just kind of standing there with her big, gnarled staff. It's twice as tall as she is. Just watching you guys prepare in the morning. Hello, dear. She sees you looking over.
Do you know what's ahead of us? What the next step is?
Well, we're not too far from the broken stairs, which is a bit of a climb. After that, though, it's a straight shot to the Twisted Garden. Only a few hours more past that.
Do you have any abilities that might help us get down these stairs? All we have is rope, really.
Rope is good.
And pythons? I think someone has pythons.
Well, I can tell you the stairs are probably badly named. Not much of stairs anymore, really, just kind of a winding slope. Narrow in spots. Definitely recommend you proceed with caution and care to your footing. I am not exactly the most, physically able creature, as you can see. But, I'll do my best to help you along as best I can.
All right. Anything else we need to do before we continue?
Question. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, yeah, and if I need to roll a check of some sort, I'm gonna go with detect magic's not gonna be super useful because most things will probably be magical in a Feywild.
I would say that with detect magic, if you're in an area that is pretty magical, there's definitely going to be like an ambient sort of haze, I guess, that you'd be picking up on. Like, yeah, there's magic pretty much in the air, but like magical shit, a magic item or a spell effect is still going to light up substantially more than, the surrounding ambience. You still be able to pick that kind of stuff up. And you know this, having cast the spell before,
Yes, I figured. I'm just debating on if I should prep it for today.
Sure.
Noelle will check in with Barnaby, I think, real quick before we go then, while everybody's prepping stuff. Are you feeling okay today? She'll kind of walk up to him.
Yeah. Got some good sleep in last night. Once I got talking to Miss over there.
I woke up to the smell of gumbo partway through the night.
Yeah, I got a little hungry. Wanted to make something.
I had assumed. You seemed a little nervous yesterday. I just wanted to make sure you're alright with proceeding.
I just got some kind of eerie feeling. I'm feeling better, though, having a good sleep in the night.
What kind of eerie feeling?
Kind of like deja vu, but obviously I know I've never been here.
The area started to seem familiar, right? After we got past the bridge.
Yep.
Well, we've got your back, Barnaby. We'll figure this out.
I hope so. Alternative is we don't make it back.
It's true.
Oh, we lost Clark.
Oh, Clark. He's back.
Not sure what happened. I just sort of dropped out.
How about you? How you feeling in here?
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I really have no idea what to expect at this point. I don't know if we're about to walk into a fight or something else entirely. I don't know who to trust. I'll whisper that part. And I'm not really sure how this is going to play out. I'm just trying to be ready for anything.
Well, that's the fun part about life. Sometimes you just gotta grab it by its horns and wrestle it out.
I've never been much for physical combat, but I'll do my best today, I suppose.
Oh, you'll do fine.
I hope you're right.
I got a good feeling about today.
Inside check. I just wanted to roll a dice. I don't know what I'm rolling against, or if there even needs to be a roll, but that's a 19 total.
I mean, he's not trying to deceive. So I don't know where I'd roll. Or what I'd roll. Persuasion, maybe? Try and convince Noelle of the same thing?
If you're not really trying to conceal anything, I don't think it's really necessarily like a thing that's hidden.
You can just tell me Barnaby's not hiding it.
That's good because I rolled a nat 1 on persuasion.
Okay.
So I'm okay with
genuine enthusiasm or genuine confidence, I guess.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'll walk back over to my bag and pick it up and get moving, I guess.
Okay, cool. Anything else from anybody else? Or are we ready to continue? I'm not hearing a yes, so I'm taking that as a no. So, the party packing up camp, returning to the road, and continuing onwards. As was noted earlier, and a month and a half ago, you guys were not terribly far from the next major step of your journey. Within the hour, you come to a precipice. The path to this point had been steadily climbing, and now you are sort of cresting this hill and looking over it down into the lands beyond. You can see you are standing more or less at the top of a pretty steep ridge. It's not quite a cliff face, but it is definitely a precarious drop ahead of you. This rocky, tumultuous slope that falls down several hundred feet to almost like a basin that sort of stretches out in front of you for miles. You see thick, misty jungle covering the entirety of the landscape before you. This depression in the ground ahead of you, stretching out miles ahead, fading into this thickening sort of rainforest fog. This ridge that you're standing on sort of wraps around in both directions, sort of surrounding this basin. And you can see, sort of that jungled mountain ridge also fading into the distance ahead of you. I think Aloran and Noelle, with your passive perceptions, your keen eyes do pick up at this distance. There is a point pretty close to the far end of this basin, or maybe it's closer to the center, but definitely a good distance away, where the mist becomes very thick. It almost seems to be sort of issuing out of this point in the jungle, and kind of squinting and taking in this distant spot in the canopy. You can see this almost sort of protrusion, this mound, sort of rising up out of the surrounding junglescape. And the more you look, the more you see that there's this sort of irregular, sort of ridge shape to it, almost like the top of an especially tall, wide-spreading tree protruding miles away out of the jungle, from which all of this mist is beginning to sort of like issue up into the air and spread out over the jungles around it. And kind of tracing the junglescape from that point, you can actually pick out a very, very faint path beginning to take shape closer to the base of the ridge, until finally the jungle below you, hundreds of feet down, does actually open up. You can see the remnants of an ancient paved road several hundred feet below you. And that road zigzags up the side of this ridge in repeated switchbacks, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, over and over and over again, until it finally comes to a stop at your feet, right where you're standing. And you get the sense that this path you're on will lead you inextricably towards that distant tree.
I'll turn to Auntie Cottam and point to the tree in the distance and say, "Is that it?"
That's the garden. You've keen eyes to see it from this distance, dearie.
Garden.
My home. the former seat of my power and passage to the realm beyond.
So does that mean that everything beyond that tree is the Feywild? I'm still not 100% clear how this works.
Not quite, my dear. It will become clearer, I think, as we draw nearer. But this whole jungle is closer to the Feywild than I believe any of you have ever been. And from the garden, you can turn back, or you can press on into the realms beyond.
If I look up, does the sky appear normal, or are things different like last night?
The sky is clear and blue. A deep, vivid blue. Very lively, very vibrant. You do kind of key in that the colors here are stronger and more robust than you recall them being prior to crossing that bridge. And it feels like this sort of like saturating effect is beginning to grow more pronounced the closer you get. Doesn't feel like you've crossed any thresholds necessarily, but you definitely feel this sort of mounting pressure almost. This sense of anticipation that there is something very significant not too far ahead of you.
And we can see the bottom of this slope. Like from here, look
yes.
down.
It's not a sheer, like, straight up and down cliff. It is a slope, but it is a very, 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 very steep one. You would not safely be able to walk in a straight line down this slope. There is a reason you see switchbacks running up and down it.
My grandma had one of these at an old lake house. I know this experience.
They're great. They're great, aren't they?
And one year, a flood washed the whole thing away, so it literally was just a sheer cliff.
Fuck.
Fun stories from my history. All right. How the fuck we getting down, party? Any bright ideas?
We build a sled and we slide down.
Ooh, I like
That
sled.
I like the creativity.
Yeah,
I
I like
that.
sled. Let's do sled.
I mean, Jack could probably survive it.
I can turn into a bear sled.
Bears can climb.
You look at this rocky, rough-hewn slope. You kind of get the sense sledding down this would fuck you up. This does not look like... This is not a smooth slide down. This would be a very bumpy, very uncomfortable, very lethal fall if you were to start slipping and tumbling down the side of this mountain.
I just thought of the greatest magical transport ever. It's just like it's like a toboggan. They're like everything in front of it just becomes slippery. It just becomes like smooth and slippery.
Your twig is showing.
That was out of character.
No, I know.
Lauren, can you turn into like a mountain goat?
Have I seen a mountain goat, DM?
Roll a d20.
Okay.
She saw an aquatic mountain goat.
He turns into a seahorse. Mistakes were made.
What'd you roll?
5.
A 5? Oof. You've seen goats.
Wait. Auntie,
I was just thinking the same thing.
Hayden, have you ever seen a mountain goat?
She kind of cracks an eye up at you. She gets a little smile on her face. Perhaps, dearie. Do we want another taste of what Auntie Cotum's cooking?
Okay, out of
Wait, I thought
character.
you said you don't know how to cook.
It's an expression.
Yes. Please.
What's it worth to you?
Auntie Cudham, we're trying to
I'll
get
give
you
you a ride
down
up
the
the mountain.
wall.
You get a free ride on my little goat ass up this mountain. And down this mountain.
On your little goat ass, you say. Well, when you put it like that, how can I resist? She'll twist her hand, and you see a little spectral mountain goat with his shaggy coat and his big curled horns take shape in the air before you. Go on.
I turn into a mountain goat.
All right, give me a spellcasting ability check.
Is that
Use your
like
wisdom. Use your wisdom modifier.
I can vouch I've rode her before. She is a good ride.
Is that so, dearie?
Yeah, rode her bareback.
I want you to know Lauren is literally arms crossed like this, just like silently chuckling to herself because she knows how bad that's. And she's like, that's not what he meant.
What? That's exactly what I meant. Remember when we were hunting after that one guy and you transformed into a horse, but we didn't have a saddle?
Check, please.
Okay. Where's my wisdom? Oh, there it is. Yeah, dice. Don't fuck me over. You didn't. Thank you. 21.
21.
I'm a dope
And
ass
once
goat.
more, drawing inspiration from the detailed illusion floating over the old woman's hand, you instinctively shift your form, fall down to all fours, and assume the form of a mountain goat.
Then I'm gonna go chew on John's pants.
You're barking up the wrong tree, dearie. He's not taken. As she takes hold of a horn and swings one of her stubby little legs over your back, oof, and settles down on top of you. This bitch is heavy. And you suddenly feel, oh no. This might have been a mistake.
I'm a goat. I got this. I'm literally a goat. I'm fine.
Yeah. Auntie Cotum is like, she's heavy. And you feel her knees kind of squeezing against your side. It's gonna be a struggle to carry her. You have the benefit of a sure-footed mountain goat, which is good, but this is a burden for sure, and it will definitely be impacting your DCs. So, as she settles up on top of you, takes hold of your horns, she says, "Well, I'm ready to go. How about the rest of you? We're going or not? We're burning sunlight."
I guess we're going.
No time like the present, I suppose.
Alrighty. So, is there any special techniques or ideas or items that you want to use or something, anything, your approach to this descent? Or are we just going to be just walking down the path?
You could tell me how useful this would be. I don't know what the wall of this path looks like that we're winding down, but I do still have all those basic mining tools, so I could, like, I don't know, maybe, like, use a pickaxe to stabilize myself on unsure terrain or something, like slam it into the wall and use it as a sort of a stabilizer. Something like that.
Are we just trying to kind of use it as like an extra like handhold.
Yeah,
if needed,
that's basically what I'm
like
saying.
Okay.
On uneven surfaces, I will slam the pick into the wall and kind of use it as like a handhold to get past these areas.
Okay. Yeah, we can make a note of that then for sure. Anybody got anything else?
Cast enhanced ability on myself.
Okay. All right.
Give myself some cat's grace.
Good call.
Good call. Good call. All right. So that's advantage on dexterity checks. Okay. Cool.
Barnaby kneels down and starts talking to his hands. Now, fellas, we got a lot of work to do. If we get this down, this is just fine. We'll be doing good. He just starts muttering to himself, trying to give his hands a pep talk.
He's doing a boomhauer.
Basically.
Now listen here, boys. This is what we're going to do. We're going to walk down these switchbacks real careful, like, and you're going to hold on to the wall for a minute. This is what we're going to do. Cool. Anything else? All right. I'm not hearing nothing. We begin the descent.
Wait, I have a... No, never mind. So I think I have, like, enhanced ability, but I would have to have done that before I turned into a mountain goat.
That is correct. So as a mountain goat, you do have a feature called Sure-Footed, which gives you advantage on strength and dex saves against effects that would knock you prone. I would be inclined to say that would give you advantage on these checks as well, because that is kind of the form that we were hoping to take here. So, beginning this descent, stepping on to the descending slope and beginning to follow the first sort of straightaway of these switchbacks, you make note that there are traces of an old, worn away cobblestone road still visible under the dust of this path. A lot of these stones look like they have either been kind of kicked away or otherwise buried or worn just down over time by the elements. But there is clear evidence that there had been construction here to sort of cement this path at some point in the distant past. But there are also segments of this path as you continue onward that are just gouged. It looks almost like probably 3 foot wide gaps smashed into the earth by falling rock. There are jungle plants, growing on these slopes, vines and creepers that in some places sort of stretch across the path, inhibiting your forward motion, forcing you to kind of step over them carefully, avoiding the makeshift snares that they create that might snag a foot as you pass by. What I'm going to need you guys to do as we move through this skill challenge, we're going to be making a series of dexterity acrobatics checks. I'm going to need 3 successful checks as a group in order to complete the challenge.
Okay.
As these continue, if a check is failed, that is going to be kind of representative of you guys stumbling, struggling, kind of wearing yourselves down, and that is going to increase the DC incrementally as checks are failed. If we hit the point where there are 2 failed checks in a row, the members who fail that second check are going to be required to make a saving throw to avoid a fall. Okay. If we can get those three successes in a row as a group, we're good. We're done. You guys have got through it without issue. I will eventually cap the DC. if we continue to repeatedly fail. If we need to take a break on these switchbacks to rest and recoup, that will reset the DC back down to ground level. As you guys kind of collect yourselves and get ready, for kind of a fresh attempt down the slope. And I have here that each check is sort of a 20-minute endeavor, right? So at the fastest, you guys can kind of see this is not so far that it would take you more than an hour if all things go smoothly. But the more this messes up, the more this is going to take. So,
just to verify, did you say a dex check or athletics? Or
it's going to be an acrobatics check. This is about maintaining your balance, avoiding pitfalls, and more or less just proceeding cautiously in a way to make sure that you are not falling off the side of this path, because that will hurt.
And succeeding as a group means a majority past the DC in the check.
Correct.
Okay.
So I just need 3 people to succeed on the check.
I got a 19.
Okay, yeah. Acrobatics check from everyone, please, for the first check. So that's 1 success.
Natural 20.
Got a 22.
That's a 20. 22. All right. Cool beans.
I got a 12.
12. Okay.
14 plus.
Do I get advantage?
I would say, yeah, as a goat, you would have advantage.
Army got 14 plus 6, so dirty 20.
Ooh. I got a 12.
Great first check, guys. Excellent. So, these first few switchbacks here, you guys, true to your plan here, just move carefully, move cautiously, check your footing, and begin making really solid progress down the side of this very steep slope. So that's 1 success. Let's get our second check going, shall we?
Yes.
14.
14.
15 total.
15 total.
18.
18. Very nice.
17 total.
17. Okay. So, Lauren. This bitch is heavy. It's very strange because she doesn't look like she should be this heavy, but she is almost like dragging you to the ground with her weight. It almost feels like you're sort of dragging her, like a 12-year-old trying to ride their beagle. Like it doesn't it doesn't line up here, and you are finding yourself your hooves kind of catching in potholes, left from removed stonework, kind of tripping over vines in places. And each time she's kind of like, "Easy there, girlie. You said you were a good ride. What's going on here?" However, stubborn as you are, driven on by the continued forward motion of your group, you continue plodding along. And that was a second successful group check. You guys did great. But Lauren, this bitch, this fucking bitch, she's dragging you down. I'm just letting you know that was not a success.
What did Chani roll?
15.
She rolled a what? Yeah, I thought she rolled a 14. Yeah.
No, I rolled a 15.
15, excuse me. Yeah. Yeah, she's heavy. She's very heavy, and she is impacting your DCs. So, third check, guys. Can we do this in an hour?
Maybe.
Let's see if a Lauren falls off a cliff, guys.
Ooh,
That's a 25.
25.
9.
23.
Ooh, okay.
Also a 23.
Oh, I got a nat 20, bitch.
Nice.
Hey, very nice.
Good call.
Great. Because my first roll was a 5. And I was like, uh-oh.
Oh, this kitten is very cute, cat. Yeah, good, great, awesome, guys. John, what's going on, buddy? You're starting to flag here. You're in the home stretch, and suddenly, you're beginning to kind of like trip and catch here. You're starting to get like shin splints, like real bad on like the left leg. So it's kind of making it really hard to like get those downward steps on the ledges, right? Like going downstairs. Not having a great time on these stairs here. But the rest of the party, you guys are powering through it like champs. And Aloran, despite that rocky middle section, you are not going to let this heavy little creature get the better of you. And you are just trudging along, determined to make it down in a timely fashion. So, 3 successful checks, guys. Great work. Good to see. Question for I think it was Aloran. Aloran's got the stupidly high passive, right? But what is your passive perception right now as a goat? Or do you keep? No, you keep your wisdom, don't you?
I keep my wisdom.
Okay. Interesting. So, Aloran, as you guys are drawing closer to the base of the cliff, you are about 100 feet, you'd guess, from the valley floor here, right? You're beginning to draw even with some of the highest trees, the tallest trees. They draw even with their canopy here. And something catches your attention kind of out of the corner of your eye behind you with that kind of wide slitted goat pupil, right? You've got almost 360 degrees of vision. You can almost see directly behind you with this, and kind of glancing back over your shoulders through sort of the arms of Anticotum on your back, you see slowly slinking through the low-lying brush on the side of this steep rocky slope, 2 dark shapes.
Jaguars! Yes! I'm so excited.
Making their way towards your party.
Dope.
We're almost to the bottom, dearie. What's the problem? Get up here.
And I'm gonna go. Bah! It's crazy.
They're behind us?
Yes.
So you guys hear Aloran starting to kick up and bleat frantically from her position in the march. I guess we should clarify, what is the marching order right now?
I figured Lauren's in the very back because she got the chonker on her.
She got chonky old lady on her? Okay.
Yeah.
So Aloran in the back. Who's up front? Who's in the middle?
I try to stay in the middle, probably with Burberry.
Sure. So probably John and Barnaby up front.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so the party begins to hear this frantic bleeding sound. What are you guys doing? What's the play?
Do we see what she's bleeding about? If I look back?
Yeah, give me a perception check.
17 total?
17. Nice. Yeah. Sure enough, you look past her and see her kind of rearing up and twisting kind of off to your left now that you're looking back up the slope. And you see those 2 dark shapes, these large shadows trudging through the underbrush, suddenly begin to pick up speed, sprinting towards you. And I'm going to need the party to roll initiative.
Oh, shit.
Dun, dun, dun.
God damn, I rolled terrible.
Combat, but no surprise round.
7 total.
Music? Shit. Ooh.
I got 11.
17.
1 or 2.
So 22 Barnaby, 11 Aloran, 7 Noel. John was what?
17.
17, and Burberry was
19.
19. Very good. Okay. And Adlar, who's also here, rolled pretty solid.
And this is where we find out Anticotum knows Fireball, right?
All right.
You fucking wish, run, bitch! So, let me get this initiative order figured out. Damn, yeah.
I actually missed it. What's running out of this right now?
There are these large, dark shapes obscured by the brush. They were slowly kind of stalking towards Aloran, but they are now running full speed down the side of the mountain towards you guys.
Oh, okay, so you never actually showed what they were. You just said that.
Yeah, you can't even really make out the shape of these things beyond that they are large, and they are
and in charge.
Fast. I guess you could say they are long as well. Like they've got kind of a long, elongated body. So I'm gonna open up Tabletop Simulator, guys, since this has been so heavily requested. Yay!
Oh shit!
Tabletop. And do we want this to be like an open room thing, or do you want me to just stream this so you guys can see what's happening? Like, how do we want to handle that?
Because I don't have it.
That's true. Okay, yeah. Streaming for Johnny. For sure.
I was streaming.
Okay. So we're gonna go to.
I would prefer an open table so that I can actually see it so I can stream it. Because I can't stream the Discord call.
So yeah, heads up, I am using a battle map that I found on Google. So credit to whoever this person is that made it.
That one guy, he did real good work.
How do I set up? Son of a bitch.
Should we go on break while you figure this out?
Take a tenor here? Okay, sure, yeah.
I need to get tabletop open anyway, so...
Sure. Let's pick up at 9 Mountain Time, 10 o'clock Central Time, and I will get our battle map figured out here.
Alright, going on break. right. I can actually use the combat screen I made for this
Woo!
to show Tabletop Simulator.
All right, so kicking off combat, we are opening this round of initiative with Barnaby at 22. So Barnaby, Lauren, the mountain goat, has begun bleeding furiously. Noelle whipped around and caught sight of these creatures, alerting the party.
Oh shit! That's why I rolled so low on initiative. I'm panicking.
Yeah, and yeah, Barnaby, you can see these two large dark shapes darting down the side of the mountain with a surprising swiftness and surefootedness, making their way towards the rest of the party. What do you want to do?
I do what I always do.
Okay.
I use gun. And if that don't work, I'm going to use gun more.
All right, go for it. Barnaby uses gun.
Let's see how effective it is. That's a 23 to hit.
23 to hit?
Yep.
Barnaby. I need you to make this roll with disadvantage.
All right.
24.
Eat shit.
So I just roll again then?
Yeah, and use a lower roll.
I got the exact same roll. I got two 15s.
God damn.
Plus 8, so.
That will hit. Go ahead and roll damage for me.
That is 14.
14. Whew, that's a chunk. Very nice. So with a resounding very distantly, you see a spray of crimson flying into the air from beneath the brush overhead over these creatures. And you hear a resonant, loud, low as this creature, whatever it is, roars in pain.
Don't make me do that again now, you hear? And I'm going to start running uphill, I guess, towards the goat.
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, get right here if you wanted.
All right.
That's 30 feet.
Yep.
All right, you are by the goat. Anything else?
Let's see. Nope, I think that's it for right now.
Alrighty. That is the end of your turn. That brings us to Burberry. Burberry, what's the play? You see these two creatures. Barnaby just take a shot as he ran up to protect Aloran the mountain goat. What do you want to do?
Are these critters speaking something specific, or are they just making critter noises?
You heard a loud guttural roar out of this creature. Just an animalistic bellow from overhead.
If it's Sylvan, I would have understood it.
Yeah, you don't pick up any language out of that, Barnaby.
Well, I was just figuring because, I do have primordial on my list, so I was just like, maybe.
Fair.
That's a good point.
It is not roaring and primordial either.
Okay, well, I guess I'll go ahead and cast Guiding Bolt.
Guiding Bolt. Okay, go ahead and give me a I believe Guiding Bolt is attackable.
15.
Which of these creatures are you aiming at? The one that Barnaby just shot, or the second one?
I'll go with the one Barnaby just shot.
Okay. So that was a
15.
15. You said okay. Yeah, that will hit.
Okay, so I dig up a bunch of d6s. That was 4 5s.
Wow.
Ooh.
Oh, 20
Big guiding bolt.
damage. Big guiding bolt. Very nice. So that becomes a solid chunk of radiant damage, arcing into the brush, landing true, striking this creature. There is a flash of divine energy on illuminating kind of this hulking, muscular silhouette bearing down the mountain towards you. And I believe now the next attack against it has advantage. That's correct.
I'll double check, but you can go ahead and let the next person go.
Okay. But yeah, that struck true. Good job. Is there anything else on your turn, or are you gonna hold your position?
I'm gonna hold my position.
Okay. So that.
And you are correct.
Gotcha. That hurt like a bitch. So that brings us to the creature's turn. Actually, no. Hold up. Maybe the creature's turn. I have 3 people who rolled 17s. John and Adlar, what are your dexterity scores?
I mean, you know Adlar's.
I do know Adlar's. I guess I'm just asking John.
Dexterity score or bonus?
Just give me your full score, yeah.
15.
16?
15.
Okay. 15, excuse me. Okay. 15, good to know. I need to get... I think I actually put Adlar in a fucking Google sheet, so give me a second. Here we go. Got him. Okay, we're good. Adlar had very high dexterity, actually.
Oops.
So he will be first. John, I need you to just roll a d20 for me.
Okay.
Just a flat d20 roll.
10.
10? Okay. John, you will be the last of these 3 people who all rolled 17s. So first will be Adlar. Adlar will be taking advantage of an ability he has called Favored Foe, if he can make this hit. So he's going to take aim at the creature charging towards, that is started to veer off towards Barnaby and Burberry that they just shot and damaged. And this has advantage because of the guiding bolt. Thank God, because that was a 9. And that is a 19 to hit. Excellent. So he will deal 6 damage. And he will invoke his trait Favored Foe to deal an extra d4. So that'll be a total of 8 damage to the creature. That'll bring it down to 40 something. Boom. And he... Oh, actually, he deals an extra d8. Excuse me. It's extra 4. Yeah, that creature has been just pelted and is very badly damaged. He is now going to take a step up kind of between Noel and Burberry. Kind of trying to get in front of you guys. Next up on the initiative is the creatures. So, these things were charging both towards the goat. Just bounding down the mountain towards the goat. Now that this one has taken some significant damage, it is going to veer off to the side and kind of dive into the middle of this group. And as it leaps out of the brush, what you see... Actually, it can't even get to you guys because there's no room. It's so big. What you see is this enormous black feline shape. 6 muscular legs. and out of its back, these two long spiked tendrils. The second one, quickly following behind it, runs pouncing at the billy goat, Aloran. The second one has this very distinct shimmer to its fur, to the point that it's kind of hard to even focus on the thing. There's a haze that it's casting in the light around it that is sort of obscuring like the details of its face, of its musculature. The one next to you guys, totally visible, very angry and very bloody. Both of them are about to take some big swings. Barnaby, you let off the first shot. So he is going to take its shots at you. That's a nat 20 on the first hit. And a 16 on the second hit.
Let's see, both will hit.
All right. So on the first hit, Barnaby. Oof. That is going to be 16 total damage. 3 of which is piercing, and the rest is bludgeoning. The second hit is going to be 11 damage, 1 of which is piercing. On the billy goat, Aloran, it's going to take its swings. That is going to be an 11 against the goat's AC, which hits. And that is a solid 22. So those are both going to hit you. I didn't catch that.
You're muted, Johnny.
You're muted, Johnny. Oops.
Oops. So, is it just like the goat, the stat block in D&D?
Yeah, the mountain goat is what you said you transformed into.
Okay, so
I
is
think
that
you
different?
It is different from a regular goat. Yes, you have 13 hit points, which you probably will not have by the end of this.
Yeah. No.
So first hit is going to be.
Is Lauren just gonna get crushed underneath Auntie What's It Bag?
Yes.
First hit is going to be 12 total damage.
Okay.
4 of which is piercing. So you have 1 goat hit point left. Your second hit is going to that's a 6 plus 7, so 13 total damage, 6 of which is piercing.
Okay.
So your goat form ends. Aloran is slashed back into her humanoid Triton form and continues to take an additional 12 damage to her actual physical body. So as this creature lunges at you, thrashing these tentacles over its head, kind of lashing out at your limbs, sweeping them out from under you, you and Auntie Kodum go tumbling off to the side. And she's like, "Oh shit!" and fucking boom, hits the dirt. You are instinctively like bounding and running, trying to get away from this thing. This thing strikes you. You tuck and roll, kind of smashing into rocks as you go. And by the time you kind of get back to your feet, you are back in Triton form and somewhat damaged, but still alive and breathing. So, as you square off with these creatures, you guys watch as the very heavily injured one that is confronting Barnaby kind of flexes its muscular body, and you watch as it also adopts a similar sort of shimmering haze to the second creature. Both of them let out this bellowing as they rear up, claws extended, ready to strike again. So that is going to take us down to John. It is now your turn. What do you want to do?
Alright, so yeah, I'm in the back all over there.
You were at the front of the party, as the marching order described.
And they're up on the cliff side.
So these things are, they're like coming down the slope towards you guys. Big, sharp claws kind of holding them in place. They've got 6 limbs. Very easy for them to kind of bound up and down these slopes.
How far can I make it with my full movement?
I believe 30 feet. I don't recall. Yeah, I think you might have an extra 5. I don't remember.
Let me double check it. Yeah, 30 feet.
30 feet. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, so you could push past Adlar to get next to this creature, or you could stop in front of Noel. Either way.
Okay. Does Adlar seem like he's having a hard time?
Adlar took a shot. He has not been attacked yet. Barnaby's been injured. Adlar just kind of took a step in front of Noel and Burberry to shield them in case this creature tried to like rush them. So it's kind of up to you on positioning right now.
Okay. Lauren's the one in the most trouble right
now. Lauren was just attacked and knocked out of her goat form. She is now human and slightly bleeding.
Okay. Can I rage and then use the rest of my action to get in between that creature and Lauren?
I would say
because raging is a bonus, right?
Raging is a bonus, but the rest of your movement would get you on the far side of Adlar. It would take an action to dash.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm trying to think how. You know what? Yeah, I'll say you can like probably like kind of muscle between a Lauren. We'll say that you're using like kind of assisted movement to help get her out of the way here and take her spot. So that is the extent of your dash action. Then is to take that spot, and you are now raging between the two.
Her around.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's your turn then.
I'm raging and I'm right in front of the creature, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So Lauren, it is your turn now. John has just rushed past everyone. You see the veins bulging in his neck as he readies his glaive, and he just kind of shoves you behind him to protect you from this creature as you get back to your feet. So what are you doing? What you doing?
Great question.
Is it their time?
I'm going to cast Entangle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Where do you want to center it?
Let me see.
20-foot square, starting from a point within range.
Honestly, I'd probably get it away from any of the party members, but I'd probably be targeting the one that's being really mean to me.
Okay, so the one that jumped your shit?
Yeah.
Sure, okay, yeah. So we can say that this area here is 20 feet there. That would entangle him. So then that will require him to make a saving throw, correct?
Yeah, I think I'd have to roll for it, though, I think.
You don't need to roll anything. He needs to make a strength save, it looks like. So, this creature's ability... does not actually benefit it against this kind of effect. So, he's just making a straight strength save. That is a 13 to save.
And what does he have to beat?
Your spell save DC. Should be on the front page towards the bottom. like under the attack box?
I have a 13.
13. Okay, so meets it, beats it. Unfortunately, he is not restrained, but that is still difficult terrain now, which means it takes twice as much movement to move through that area. Do you have any bonus actions, or is that your turn?
Yes.
Okay.
1 second. I should have pulled up the Jaguar. The Panther 5e. Get to turn into a fucking panther. So I'm gonna. Yeah, I guess I'll just move back next to the old lady and help her stand. Or no, I'll just stay where I'm at. No,
All right, cool. Staying where you're at. Easy. That will be your turn then. Noelle, it is your turn.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
I had no time to think about this. I'm gonna cast the old classic, what's it called? Mirror image?
Bolt.
Mirror image.
That works too.
Alright, mirror image.
And then I'm going to bonus action. I will give Barnaby inspiration.
Okay.
Don't let him kill you. And then I'm going to I want to be away from. I'm going to scooch just over here, kind of up against the wall, so I can get a good sense of the battle, but I'm not like abandoning or anything like that. Just kind of. I just don't want to get knocked off the cliff. That's really what I'm going at here.
Okay.
All right. So move, bonus action. I'm done. Barnaby, you have inspiration at D6.
Dope. Okay. That will bring us to Anticotum, who rolled a 2. As she dusts herself off and gets to her feet, looking at this big creature, she kind of chews on her gums a little bit and get this scowl on her face. She's like, "You stupid cat!" And she just takes a swing at it with her stick. Oof. Not a great hit. That is a 9. And this is with disadvantage too because it's got the sheen. So yeah, it's a 9. She swings and just hits nothing but air. And you see her kind of eyebrows kind of shoot into her up under her little head wrap, and she's like, oh no. And she is. She's probably just gonna slowly kind of wrap herself around the back of John's leg and just kind of push him in the back. Go get him, boy. We're not gonna risk a move because that might be dangerous for her. But yeah, that is her move. So top of the order, Barnaby, it is your turn. You have 2 of these enormous creatures flanking you on either side. What do you want to do?
Well, I can tell you what, they're certainly trying to take me out. Well, let's send them back some of what they gave me.
Okay.
In exchange after I shot them.
What's your play, buddy?
Let's see. I think I'm just going to shoot the one I done shot again.
Okay. Do you have the gunner feat?
I do.
I can't remember. Okay, cool. So no disadvantage from that, but yes, disadvantage from displace our beasts.
All right.
So please roll.
Now for the inspiration, is that just to roll?
To any attack,
that is to hit.
Ability check or saving throw. Not for the damage.
Yeah. All right. So that was a. Can I choose to use it at any time?
If you don't think you're gonna hit, that's generally when you want to use it.
All right. I'm more thinking can I save it for the next round?
You got 1 minute.
Okay. Good enough. So that's a 14 plus 8.
14
so
plus
22.
8. That's with disadvantage.
Correct. I rolled a 17 for the second. Plus
okay.
8.
Cool. Yeah, that'll hit. Which one are you aiming at?
The one I shot earlier.
Gotcha. Okay, roll for damage.
All right. That is 6 plus 4 for 10.
Oof. 10 damage.
Let's see. I am going to... Let's see. Can I use... Or should I use that right now? Yep, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use second wind on myself.
Okay.
Give myself a little pat on the cheek and then slap it. I feel better.
Sure.
And that's going to be my turn for right now.
Alrighty. So holding position. That will take us down to Burberry. Burberry, what's your play?
I'm pretty sure I'm going to do a fire and a miss with a 13.
Okay. 13 is definitely... Oh, actually, that does hit. Never mind. Good job.
All right.
Which one were you aiming at, by the way?
Same one as before.
Oh, okay. So, fun fact. When Barnaby shoots that creature, just before you unleash your blast, you watch as the haze around its body actually sort of pops, like evaporates almost. Just sudden... and you can, again, very clearly see the body, exactly where it was. So, no disadvantage on this shot, but a 13 will still hit. So, yeah, go ahead and roll damage for me.
Okay, that'll be 11.
11, very nice. So that brings us ever closer to death. This creature is looking rough. He is not in great shape. That is your turn? Do you have bonus actions or movement or anything? Okay, cool. Done. That will take us to Adlar, who is very close. I don't think he wants to be this close. However, he is...
On the upside, he does have advantage on this attack.
He does have advantage on attacks. So that would be a straight shot for him because he does not have anything to kind of dissuade that melee shooting issue. So yeah, fuck it, he'll just shoot it. Point blank. Oof. Unfortunately, that is only... Oh, no, that hits. That's 14.
Hey.
Okay. So 2d8 plus a d4. He's not rolling great, though.
That's my purpose, is just to help Adlar hit.
7 plus 4 is 11. He's not dead yet. He's getting there. He takes his shot and I think holds his position for the time being. That will take us to the creatures. This injured creature is in very bad shape. It is now bleeding profusely from numerous arrows and gunshot wounds and singes of holy fire. It is going to take the disengage action and begin running back up the mountain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Does Adlar get in
It is disengaging. So this thing is retreating back up the mountain. Not fucking with you guys. Actually, it probably wouldn't be able to go that way, so it'd probably need to go up the path. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold up. We can just line it. 1, 2, 3, 60. So 45 and here. Okay. He is just running away, back up the switchback, away from you guys. The one next to the one that remains fresh relatively, next to John and Barnaby and Andy Codum, is going to continue its attack. And John, you watch in amazement, awe, I don't know, as this thing's back tentacles thrash through the air around you like whips, and seem to be aiming to connect with Aloran, who is standing behind you. As this thing uses an extended reach to make its attacks. Fortunately, that is a fucking 11, Aloran.
Nope, that does not hit.
Okay.
I can use my sentinel to attack it, right?
I believe so, actually, yeah. And then 16, Aloran?
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay. So one misses, one will connect. And sentinel. Yeah, you can attack it. So Aloran, oof, terrible rolls. Aloran will take 3 plus 4 damage, so 7 damage. 2 of which is piercing. And yeah, John, you can make your attack against it.
So 22 to hit.
Right.
22. Is that with disadvantage?
I have disadvantage.
Yeah, this thing is still shimmering.
Oh, okay. Then with disadvantage, that would be 15.
15. 15 will hit.
Whew,
Damage.
Sure.
Damage, please.
So that is 1d10 plus 6.
I believe so.
That is 10 damage total.
10 damage. All right. And as you smack this thing, you watch as the shining haze around its body dissipates for a moment. However, at the end of these things' turns, their bodies again flash with that peculiar light, and the haze starts up around both of them once more. So, that will take us to John. It is your turn.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm going to hit it.
Yep.
It's kind of what I do.
I figured.
Okay, so I'm going to smack it. I'm still at disadvantage, right?
Disadvantage, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to hit it. That's 13.
13 to hit.
Yeah.
Just barely hits. Give me damage.
I did not think that was going to hit.
These things don't have great AC. I feel like they rely really heavily on this this feature of theirs.
So it's a 9.
9 damage? Gotcha.
Yeah, and then I'm going to use my bonus action to dredge line.
Okay.
So, basically, I create the Kraken Tentacle. Strike a creature of my choice I can see within 15 feet. Target must succeed a strength saving throw, or be pulled up to 10 feet with a straight line towards you. Oh, I thought I was actually hitting you. It's dragging towards you.
I mean, he's right in front of you.
So
he's right in front of you. Yeah.
Never mind. I guess I won't do that.
Okay. Cool.
I thought I could shove them the other way.
No, unfortunately. You can take telekinesis on level 8.
I guess the entire thing is based around me getting to them or them coming to me.
Yep. Well, anything else on your turn?
No, that's it.
All right. Aloran, it is your turn. This thing is determined to lash at you with its spiked tentacles. What do you do?
Since I hit it with my reaction attack, it has 0 movement speed, right?
Yeah, its turn is passed. It can't move right now.
No. I mean, until my next turn, it has 0 movement speed, right? That's how Sentinel works.
Let me double check.
I just wanted to double check so I can't run
away. When you hit a creature with an opportunity attack, creature speed becomes 0 for the rest of the turn. So that turn.
Okay, so the rest of that. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how long it lasted.
No, that turn. Creatures provoke all attacks from you if they disengage, and a creature within 5 feet of you that makes an attack against a target other than you, you can use your reaction to make a melee attack, which you did. So, yeah, he can move again. It's just if somebody is trying to escape from you, you can use Sentinel to stop them that turn. So, Aloran, what is the play?
I think Chani is AFK at the moment.
Chan? Oh, she is AFK. Well,
she can hold her turn.
Yeah, I can only imagine what she plans to do. Noelle, do you want to take your turn, or do you want to?
Sure. I mean, I don't think my turn's going to affect what Chani chooses to do with hers. Actually, not super sure. Does this thing have the shimmery coat up at the moment, or no?
It does not, no. The one that is fleeing does.
I'll raid that guy. 1 sec, let me look at the spell real quick. Sure, I'm gonna try and cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter on the creature.
Okay, cool. Tasha's requires a wisdom save.
Yes, he's got to beat a 15.
He does not. That is a 4 plus numbers.
Notably, he does have to have an intelligence score of 4 or... Sorry, a creature with an intelligence score of 4 or less is not affected. I don't know what these things are.
He is smarter than 4.
Alright, then... it begins to laugh, however it does that, and it falls prone, becoming incapacitated and unable to stand for the duration.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Down, kitty.
There is an awful, deep wheezing noise that comes out of this creature as the lips curl back. These long yellow fangs become visible. The eyes kind of just like all scrunched up as the creature collapses onto its side, and all 6 of its clawed paws are just like kicking in the air, the whole body convulsing strangely, the tentacles writhing. It's still not pretty, still not cool. Don't like it. I don't like this creature laughing.
Someday I'll make something laugh that doesn't have a disgusting, terrible laugh.
Yeah.
I'll stay put. Don't think it's worth giving out inspiration again for this fight, so I'll just pass the turn.
Cool. Shawnee's not back yet, so I guess Auntie Kodum could take her turn. She'll see the creature fall over, and she'll be like, "That's what I fucking thought, you shit!" And she'll raise her stick and take a swing. With advantage, because it's prone.
It's incapacitated, or whatever that means.
Incapacitated, I believe. Oop, hold up.
I think incapacitated is the good one.
I think it just can't take actions or reactions.
Or yeah, I think you're right. Oh, it's hold person.
You want...
Yeah.
Yeah, paralyzed is fucking great. Paralyzed and whatever the other one is. So she rolled a 19 plus stuff. So she is actually going to hit this creature with her staff and deal some damage. That is going to be a chonky fucking oof. 15 damage. And you see this long, like 3 long fucking slash marks like cross across this creature's face from the staff, this gnarled, rooted staff. And it's going to make another save, I believe, as it should, in the face of damage. Oop. Back in the tower with you. That's still terrible. He's still laughing.
Cool.
You think that's funny, do you?
The target has advantage on the saving throw if it's triggered by damage.
Oh. It's still laughing.
All
That's
right.
a 4. So, Aloran, it is your turn. We're going to rewind time just a little bit. This creature is bearing down on you and John and Auntie Kodum. It's growling and hissing. What do you do?
You're muted.
A what? Muted.
Fireball.
Fireball.
Yeah.
What?
Or fire spear or something. Flaming spear.
There it is.
Like,
a
please
very
don't
different
fireball
spell.
near me.
How do you fireball exactly at level 4? Flaming sphere, gotcha.
Not to mention you don't fireball when your friends are right there.
I didn't ask how big the room was. I said I cast fireball.
Yeah. It's just happening.
Cool.
It is a ball
So
of
any
fire.
creature in the ball must make a dex save. Gotcha. Okay. So, dexterity saving throw. That is a 12.
So that's. Oh,
I think it fails.
My spell is a 13. So yeah,
Okay, that's a fail. Dope. So he takes 2d6 damage.
4 and a 2, so 6 damage.
6 damage. Boom. So you summon a fireball next to this creature. And we played out Noelle and Auntie Kodum. After you cast this fireball, Noelle casts hideous laughter, causing the creature to collapse onto the ground, convulsing with laughter. And Auntie Kodum took a big whack with her stick, which the creature did not seem to react to. He is still laughing horribly. It is a horrible, bellowing, wheezing sound. Very, very discomforting. So, back at the top of the order, we have Barnaby. You have a big, laughing, 6-legged, tentacled cat monster laughing on the ground next to you. It's very unsightly. What do you want to do?
I just put a stop so that I'm not shooting.
Stop that right now. He is prone, so that is advantage on, I believe, attacks within 5 feet.
I can be within 5 feet, and it doesn't matter with the gunner feet.
Yeah. You are within 5 feet, and you get advantage. So, good job. Go ahead and roll to hit.
Oh, that was so close. That's a 19 plus 8.
Oh, that's too bad.
Poor
Well,
Barnaby.
roll damage. No crits for you today.
And clearly not good damage. That's a 2 plus 4, so 6.
This thing's laughing and thrashing so much, it bumps your gun, and the trigger goes off, and you take off like a chunk of tentacle. This thing is going to make another save in response to damage. Okay. It's a wisdom save?
Yep.
Pete? Does 13 make it?
No.
Fuck. He's still laughing.
Still laughing.
Okay.
Funniest gunshot he's ever seen.
Burberry. I guess Barnaby, do you have anything left?
I'm going to say, don't you touch Bertha. Get a mean look on his face.
Okay. Burberry, it's your turn then. There is a prone, laughing displacer beast on the mountainside next to you. Your friends are just surrounding it and beating the shit out of it. What do you want to do? I think you're muted. I can't hear you at all.
Sorry, I've been muting my mic so you don't hear me coughing in the back.
That's fair.
I'm gonna go ahead and do Sacred Flame, so is it just gonna be a flat roll, or is it...
Sacred Flame is a saving throw. So I think it's a dex save, and he's prone.
Correct.
Does he have disadvantage because of that?
No, I don't think so.
Creature has disadvantage on attacks. No. Okay. So he just makes a dex save. Actually, that's a good save. That is a 17 plus.
That passes.
Cool. That does not deal damage.
That's okay.
Which means he's still laughing.
Which means he's still laughing. Yes. Cool. Adlar will rush up beside you guys, and he will level his bow at the creature.
Could I yell at Adlar to try and get the one that's fleeing?
Oh, good point. He will whip around
because that one's got skin hanging off at this point, right? It's pretty hurt.
Yeah. It is also shimmering, however, so this may not be able to hit. We'll see. But yeah, he'll take the shot. Ooh, not one.
Damn. Worth a shot.
Yeah, I think he takes the shot and just there's no reaction from the brush as this thing is running away, and he's like, I don't think I got it. That will take us down to the creatures. The fleeing creature is just bounding away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, and dashing even further, just into the brush, just like off the battle map. The laughing creature can't do anything because he is incapacitated and prone. Tasha's hideous laughter, does that stop movement?
He cannot stand up.
He can't stand, but he can crawl.
Sure.
So this creature, wrapped in vines, entangling vines, surrounded by hostile beings, unable to stop itself from laughing, its eyes starting to kind of pop out of its head, and in a horrified kind of black comic sense, begins kind of just scrambling up slope away from you guys, clawing its way away from you. It has 40 feet of...
John did say if it tries to run, he smacks it.
Who?
John.
That's true. So yeah, John, as it leaves your threat range, I think it'll maybe get shit, because it's like quarter movement, so it could probably go 2 squares. So it can go 1, 2. It's not actually out of John's range yet. It's just crawling. Let me see. Moves out of your reach. Okay, it's not out of John's reach yet, so it would not actually provoke an opportunity attack. Because it is still within 10 feet of him. It is just barely belly crawling away, trying to escape. Let's see, Tasha's. Does it give at the end of each of its turns? Okay, yeah. So at the end of his turn, he is going to attempt to save. That's another 4. Holy shit. Still laughing. The shimmer kicks back on around its body. It is now again difficult to make out detail. Kind of hard to see exactly where it is as its body's thrashing around. There's now because it's thrashing so much, there's this kind of just motion blur kind of all around the body now. It's kind of moving in slow motion almost. It's super kind of trippy looking. But that'll take us to John. And he's not here.
I'm pretty sure he's just gonna hit it.
Fair. So let me open John's sheet.
He did say if it comes to my turn, I smack it.
He schmacks. Sure, yeah, John.
If it tries to run away, he smacks it.
John will schmack. He has disadvantage because it is hazy, but he can reckless attack to get through that, so we can make that a straight roll. Unfortunately, that's a 2. Sorry, John. You do not hit the creature. You don't do damage. It doesn't get to save. But that will take us to Aloran. Aloran, what do you want to do?
Move my fireball onto this creature.
Just you shift it like 5 feet.
Yep.
Start cooking it again. He needs to make another dex save.
Yep.
Or wait, does he actually? I don't think that one does require it. When you move shit.
I'm pretty sure you still have to do a dex save.
If you ram the sphere into a creature must make the save. Okay, you're right. Yeah. So he rolled another 3 plus stuff, so that is a failure. So another 2d6 fire damage.
I got 8.
This poor fucking creature. Okay, 8 damage. That is a.
He's still not dead.
He's not dead. This one was fresh. You guys focused on the first one first. And it gets advantage, right, on damage, Pete?
Yes. Also, notably, I don't know if it matters, but if it ended its turn within 5 feet of the sphere last time, it would take another 2d6.
I would say because it managed to get 10 feet, it would be away from the sphere.
Okay.
But now the sphere's back on top of it, basically. It doesn't. An 11 doesn't succeed.
Nope.
So it's still laughing. This is a joke at this point.
Another 54 seconds of this.
Yep. So yeah, Aloran flaming sphere is the creature. Noelle, what are you doing?
I'm trying to shoot with a crossbow bolt for fun. I don't think I'm gonna hit.
That's a flat roll. It is prone.
Prone is disadvantage at distance, isn't it?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it is currently. Yeah, that's just disadvantage for you. Excuse me.
First roll was good. Second roll was maybe good enough. Or definitely, because these have like what, 13?
13. Yep.
Yeah, I rolled like a 17 there.
Hey,
I rolled a 17
okay.
and a 12 plus stuff, so.
That'll hit.
Cool. It's gonna take not enough damage, I'm sure. 8 damage.
8 damage. He's not dead yet, but he's getting closer. Does a 13 save against Tasha's?
No.
What the fuck?
You haven't rolled above a 13.
No, he's been rolling horrible. It's all single digits. Anticotum will toddle up the slope towards this creature. Come here, you shit.
And then get stuck in the vines.
And step into the vines and take a swing. That hits. That's going to be 16 plus stuff for... Ooh, big damage. She brings her staff pummeling down on top of this creature's skull. You hear a loud crack sound. The creature begins wheezing, coughing blood as it struggles to break the spell, and it succeeds. That's a fucking 17. But it is now like the skull is partially dented. There's blood streaming down its face. It is in a horrible shape, and it looks like it's beginning to panic. Barnaby.
Yes.
This creature swings its baleful gaze in your direction, the jaw slack, tongue lolling, blood foaming at the corners of its mouth. What do you do?
You touch my gun. I think you know the answer.
Roll to hit.
That's a 23 to hit.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, go roll damage.
That is 12.
12 damage. How do you want to do it?
Right through the eyes.
Time freezes for a moment as the bullet flies through the air, through the creature's skull, viscera spattering the ground behind it. And a second later, swaying, it topples to the ground, motionless. You did it! You killed the displacer beast! Good job. So.
Customary check perception to see if any of the other creatures are lurking in the shadows.
Sure.
Terrible. Like 7.
7. Yeah, your heart is pounding, like your like everything is just so bright and like so intense right now. You don't see anything jumping out at you.
Okay. Let's just get down this fucking
mountain. You took a swing, you missed, but then Anticotum and Barnaby just blew this thing's brains out.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
It's dead.
Can't believe I missed.
I reckless attacked and everything. It was it should have hit and it didn't. But yeah. So that will be the end of the combat, guys. Good job. Noelle's done a perception check. She has not seen anything else.
I rolled garbage,
you
but
all.
I'm sure we're fine.
Yeah. Adlar will take another distant shot at that fleeing creature. Okay. Ooh. And you hear very distantly up the side of this slope this echoing roar. He's just kind of shading his eyes. I think I got that one.
Do we hear like a thump as it rolls down the cliff or no?
There's like a small like cloud of dust that starts to kick up. Nailed it.
Nice.
Did it.
All right.
I'm half health.
We will take a short rest at the bottom of the cliff, but let's do that. Let's get down there.
That's why I did. That's why I took my second win.
Yeah. Good call. Kidding.
I was just sitting over here like, I hit it.
You hit the corpse?
No, wait. He's just sitting over there like proud of himself. He's like, I hit it once.
Oh. You did so good,
You
Sonny.
sure did.
She pats your leg.
I hit it with my stick.
You feel this lady's thick, meaty hand clapping against your legs.
Is this going to affect our whether we got down the mountain safely or no?
No.
Okay.
No. This was an encounter for your third check, whether you succeeded or failed.
Gotcha.
So, good news is you are about 100 feet from the bottom, not terribly far. It's only a couple more switchbacks before the ground begins to level out. And you find yourself stepping back under the eaves of a tall jungle canopy. Safe and sound.
Short rest.
So,
right?
Short rest.
Do we
sure.
need it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. So, for short rests, rolling hit dice, as many as you like. And you can add your constitution modifier to each dice, restoring hit points with each one. Who is going to keep watch on this short rest?
Noelle's taking watch, hopefully alongside someone else, because I'm not confident.
John will.
Cool.
Yeah, Adlar will also assist, since you guys are kind of setting up a little makeshift camp
I will
here.
take advantage of, because I believe I've got the best perception.
John's like still just full on health and everything. So he's like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna go.
Noelle's doing fine too. Let's see. With advantage, that's a 15.
15? Okay. Looking around, as you guys kind of continue your walk, you just kind of sit and watch at the foot of the slope as very slowly that cloud of dust makes its way tumbling down the slope until finally you watch distantly as this dark shape kind of arcs off a ridge and hits the ground, probably like 200 feet from your camp.
I'll bet as it's tumbling, I'm gonna turn to Adlar and be like, I bet it lands on that ridge. 2 copper.
Okay. I'll take that bet. All right. Rollies.
Oh, we're just rolling d20s each?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, 5.
6.
Okay.
Yeah. Adlar will take your 2 copper as it slowly veers off to the side and hits a different rock.
I was going right for it.
No. See, you follow the trajectory of the mountain there. You see how it starts to bend. Water flowed that way. Of course, it's going to follow it.
You are so wise.
How does hit dice work again?
So you roll as many hit dice as you have that you would like to, right?
Okay.
You're spending them. You add your Constitution modifier to each dice, and then you restore your hit points with those numbers, right?
I'm using 2.
2. Okay, cool. So you roll 2 hit dice, add con modifier to each one, and you can heal that much.
Up to 29, so almost full health.
Okay, it's not bad.
And we're taking a short rest, right? So I'll get my wild shape back.
Yep.
Honestly, I thought that encounter might have been triggered because Lauren turned into a goat. It's like, meat.
Yes. No, that was just the DM being a dick.
So you do it.
This rest will be fairly uneventful. Your encounter with the displacer beast on the mountain slope notwithstanding. And an hour later, you guys are feeling winded, or rejuvenated, I should say, no longer winded, and ready to continue the next leg of your trek. So,
in we go.
Returning to the path, you find that here on the valley floor, the stonework from the broken stair and from the path before it is much more intact here. The path, the road, really more solid, mossy and overgrown, but level, traversable, easily traversable, and foggy. Does not take long for you guys, as you traverse this road, to find yourselves flanked on either side by thick, low-hanging blankets of fog snaking through the tree trunks on either side of the road. Now, as you proceed, you begin to see these strange shapes rising out of the mist. These tall, oblong, sort of egg-shaped objects almost in their silhouettes. And as you draw close to them, you see that these are stones of varying proportions, some tall and thin, some short and wide, some very large, some just like that's the size of a birdhouse, like right next to the roadside. These tall, smooth, rounded stones, all of them marked with a number of these circular boreholes running straight through them. The stones themselves aren't very thick. They're sort of like massive gravestones in their sort of proportion, thinner than they are wide and tall. But many of them have these circular holes kind of running all the way through. Some about a foot in diameter, others like 2 feet. But it's like these giant stone Swiss cheese sculptures almost, right? Very eerie. And there's this faint breeze that's kind of carrying the mist outward from the center of the jungle here. And as this breeze passes over these stones, you get this faint, ethereal whistling sound that kind of picks up as the air passes over each of these holes. And it's all around you now, this sort of ambient, very faint whistle. This chorus of singing stones on every side of you. Noelle, with your passive perception.
What about a Lauren?
Oh, excuse me. Aloran. I said the wrong name. Again. God damn it. Someday, Noelle. Aloran, with your passive perception, you see, peeking out at you from one of these large holes in the stones, a pair of yellow eyes.
Wonderful. I will tell the group that there are things looking at us in the singing stones.
Okay. So you gesture over, all of you look over to the holes she's indicating. There's nothing there.
So, Lauren's batshit crazy.
Yeah, Aloran, you look back, you do not see the eyes anymore.
Do you know what might be watching us, Auntie?
Locals, probably, she says, as she kind of huddles a little bit closer to the group. She's sort of keeping to the middle, clutching her staff as she walks and just kind of swinging her gaze left to right.
Should we be worried?
Well, not too worried. They're nuisances more than anything, under the control of my, successor. Well, they're not terribly dangerous. Never have been, really.
What are they?
Grumpkins and boggles and the like. The little folk. No one strong enough to worry your head about. Hey, get off! You see her suddenly, thrash the bottom of her staff into the grass beside the road, and there's a squeal, and this tiny, dark-skinned little man with a big potato head goes scurrying into the grass, vanishing underneath a fern. And Aloran, watching that, you see out of a couple of nearby standing stones, little pairs of yellow eyes kind of poke out from behind the holes, nested in these dark-skinned, kind of potato-headed little bodies. A couple of these creatures now kind of peeking out, watching as you guys pass by.
Late.
How long of a walk is it, Auntie?
Just a few more hours now. It's not far. So,
I'll keep a hand on
carrying
my
on.
blade, just in case.
Sure. Proceeding forward. Aloran, you're watching and constantly catching sight of these little eyes, these little faces appearing and disappearing from inside these stone boreholes. Noelle, occasionally you catch a glimpse of one or two as well. These curious little creatures poking their noses out to get a glimpse of the strangers in their forest. Occasionally you hear Auntie Kotum grunting, swinging her stick into the brush. Another creature kind of goes darting off. And John, Barnaby, Burberry, you guys occasionally find yourself actually stumbling at times. You look down and you see that one of these little things has literally run out into the path under your feet, scurrying across the road frantically. Didn't even notice through the mist and the shadows here. The deeper you go, the more you begin to see, and the more and more eyes that you feel on your backs as you proceed down this path. And then you begin to see new shapes. Scattered amidst these standing stones, you see humanoid silhouettes. Slightly shorter than the more normally sized members of the party. Hooded, cloaked. They're standing very still, just barely visible in the mist. Just watching.
I assume these are similar to the Darklings.
They have a very, very similar build.
I don't know if we ever learned that they were called that, but recognize what they are at least.
Yeah.
Ow, you're hurting me, baby.
We did. We had a discussion.
Okay.
Yeah. An hour more passes. And the quiet of the woods begins to shift to a restlessness. The winds that once whistled through the stones now begins to bite at odd intervals. This sudden rush, whistling eerily through the stones nearby, rustling the branches overhead. You begin to hear bird calls, where it had been fairly quiet up till now. There is now a sudden surge in avian voices overhead. And looking up, you can see large flocks of tropical birds mingled with ravens, owls, raptors, strange mixes of creatures, all lining tree branches overhead, cawing and crying at random. All of them, their heads kind of craned down, watching your passage. Dangling from the branches underneath them on these long dark threads are bundles of sticks and grass, twisted and bound into the shapes of tiny people. You see these fetishes dangling from branches, resting in the mouths of the stones around you, clutched in the hands of your boggle onlookers as they stand by the roadside watching you advance. Soon the ground begins to grow damp. You feel the stone slightly giving underfoot, and before long, splashing. A very thin veneer of water coats the surface of the road, surrounds the nearby trees. You seem to have hit the very deepest, lowest point of this jungle. The mist is thick now. The winds carrying it in thick columns and rivulets all through the trees here. And up ahead, Lauren and Noelle, you begin to recognize a shape. Through the canopy overhead, there is a dark mass growing closer and closer. Through the mist up ahead, you can see an opening beginning to emerge out of the jungle. Soon, the trees fall away. And before you, there is what you can only assume is the Twisted Garden. This large grove, surrounded by towering trees, filled with a shallow pond of water, holds in it a circle of standing stones. These ancient obelisks, worn beyond recognition. And inside this circle, there is a hill. In that hill, there is a cave. And above it, there grows an enormous, gnarled tree. Its branches spreading out in every direction. An ungodly distance. This thing could be half a mile tall. It's enormous. Its roots reach down around the hill, around the mouth of the cavern, into the pond around you, stretching out past the standing stones and into the forest behind you. A gigantic mangrove. The mist is thick here, but even so, you can see standing at the edge of the grove in every direction, there are onlookers. The hooded darklings, the little bottles, all standing, watching, and waiting. Andy Kotum turns to you all. We're here.
Does she sound scared? Can I insight that I'm here and see how she's reacting right now?
Yeah, sure.
Gonna take a look around, see if I see any gatekeepers.
Just like a singular open gate, there's a random critter just sitting on the side of it like, huh?
Hello.
There's one little boggle with a crown. I am the new gatekeeper. Begone with you. You may now pass my gate.
My name is Sister
Trying to
Comer.
look out for some food.
Oh, I was just waiting for someone to go, I am the keymaster!
I rolled.
So nine on Lauren's insight.
Yeah.
There is a tremor in her voice for sure. What it represents, you couldn't say.
I rolled an 11 perception. Do I see the gatekeeper?
You don't.
All right.
The grove is quiet, aside from the distant cawing of birds in the jungles around you. It is still.
I rolled a 20.
What were you looking for, John?
Food. Rolled 22.
Food?
You're not coming through real clear. What's going on?
I was looking for food.
Looking for food. Okay.
Nope. I figured if there's a garden, there's gotta be food somewhere.
Okay. What was your roll?
22.
22. I'd say you could say with some confidence, looking around here, there is not a lot of like good edible plant life growing in this area. Birds are edible. There's birds back in the jungle if you want to go hunt a bird.
I wasn't looking like I was hungry. I was looking like there's got to be something to eat if somebody lives here.
Like a garden or something. Despite the name that Anticotum's given you, there does not seem to be like a cultivated garden here. There is a very wide variety of plant life, kind of growing out of the perimeter of the grove, and kind of covering the surface of this shallow pond. There's a lot of like lily pads and water lotuses kind of dotting the waterscape here. Lots of ivy, lots of moss and lichen.
So are we still on the road, or do we feel like we've kind of stepped into the garden at this point?
You are at the edge of the garden. I'd say the road is at this point, it's still visible underfoot, like under maybe like an inch of water, but up ahead, where the grove opens up, the stone circle is before you. The road starts to sink into sort of the hazy murk of the water. still looks like traversable. You can still see like roots kind of like arcing in and out of the pond. It's probably not more than like shin deep for the most part, but there's definitely like a border here, a boundary between the road and the garden.
I should have worn boots.
You ain't getting mine.
That's fair.
Barnaby puts on a second pair over his first.
I suppose it's now
He's
or
a
never.
swamp-
Are we
swamp
going
boot.
to just go in? Or do we want to surprise? I don't think that's possible. I kind of look around at all the eyes watching us.
I'm still stuck
Crow
on the idea
overhead.
that Barnaby just has full-on, like, waders.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the suspenders.
The rubber
Fishing
overalls,
boots.
fuck yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Well, because, you know, you can use them to go cutting for crawdads.
Exactly. I got fishing gear.
I think we're going forward, aren't we? I don't see another
Well,
way.
I suppose the only other option would be going back.
Oh, if you don't want to get your shoes wet, I do have some flip flops.
Or you could just do what I do and don't wear any shoes at all.
That works too.
Actually, that might be better here.
Oh, one sec.
Just step carefully for any little leaves and things. They'll just
Right.
get right in there.
I think I'm gonna change rifle. Okay, so resuming. What is up? What are we doing?
Well, someone has a better idea. I think we just gotta walk forward, guys. Into the garden.
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's find this.
I got my stick. I'm ready to go.
Alrighty
Yeah,
then.
I'll take out my sword just in case.
So, unsheath your weapons and take a tentative step into the swamp. The splish, splash, splish, splash. You make your way towards the edge of the stone circle.
What'd you say?
Look inside. You don't see any motion in here.
Can I take out my...
Just
My lamp.
swirling mists. The tree in the cave. Okay. Got your lamp.
Does that improve visibility at all? Or is it still light out?
It's still light out. It's
Oh.
not even like noon by your guess. Like you guys have only been walking for a handful of hours.
Is it dim in the same way that like cloud cover would make it dim, or is it just like
Yeah,
a sunny day?
Yeah, it's like a cloudy. Like I mean, you guys are kind of surrounded by trees. You know, the sun. It's all indirect sunlight at this
Right.
point. So it's not brightly lit, but it's not nighttime by any means. But yeah, so edge of the stone circle. You don't see anything.
What are we
Continue
looking for,
forward.
Auntie?
There's no answer.
Oh God. I look around. Is she here with us still?
Give me a perception check.
Natural 20. 25.
25. Okay.
That was a good time for that roll.
That was a great roll, yeah. Noelle. Something about this doesn't sit right with you, and you scan the space around you, and about 20 feet away, near one of the standing stones, you catch sight of a strange, sourceless ripple in the water.
Sourceless ripple in the water. I will... Fuck, I don't have anything for invisibility. Or whatever this is. Does it seem like... You said the water isn't deep, right? We can kind of see that.
It's not deep now.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are standing in it now. It really only comes up to your, like, lower shin.
I'll tap Lauren on the shoulder since she's the most perceptive of us. And I'll point to where I'm seeing the ripple.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll sort of gesture around like, our friend is gone.
You're muted, Johnny.
Sorry, I was talking to my brother. I will do a perception check after being pointed that out and see if I
see anything else.
Yeah, see anything.
Sure, yeah.
I got an 18.
18. Okay.
Yeah.
You just had to use the girl room.
You see a tiny golden stream issuing from nowhere. No. I'll say riding with Noelle's stupid nat 20. Yeah, Lauren, with your additional keen observational ability, you notice that there is this series of strange gaps in the center of those ripples, this displacement of water. You see two larger ones and one very small one. Almost as though something transparent were keeping the water from filling in that space.
Does it look like it's walking anywhere specific?
Those invisible creatures, guys. Or I'm gonna bet some fucking money on it.
Is it walking somewhere specific or just away from us?
It is currently standing still about 20 feet away.
So, I guess Lauren's just gonna, like, start talking, because she's nervous now. And she hasn't gotten high or drunken, like, a day or two. So, she'd be like, so, we're here to talk to the gatekeeper. We're from the village. The elder sent us. It would be great if we could have a conversation. We love conversation.
Who dares approach the abode of the gatekeeper? You hear this echoing, powerful voice issue out from the center of this grove, clearly emanating from the mouth of the cavern beneath the tree.
Is it emanating from where that invisible person is standing?
No, this is from the cave underneath the tree in the center of the stone circle. And with that, there is a sudden, just huge billow of mist that spills out of the cave and like washes across the surface of the pond.
The lost emeralds.
Burberry's gonna lean over to Noelle and say, you know, she must be pretty confident to be burning spell slots like that.
I don't know if Archphase...
Thaumaturgy is a cantrip, you little shit! There's a crash of thunder. And another whoosh of mist out of the cavern.
Ooh, if we're doing little magic tricks, I'll put like a little produce flame in my hands, and I'm like, ooh, who is that? The lost emerald. With little flamey hands.
Ooh, little sparklers like. Silence! There's another crash of thunder. And a flash now of light from the mouth of the cave, and you see there is a dark silhouette illuminated by that flash of light before the cave goes dark again. A tall, slender humanoid figure standing at the mouth of the cavern, momentarily lighted, now again obscured in darkness. The voice returns, lower this time. What is it that you seek here in my garden, lost emeralds?
Well, Lauren's already started talking. So if someone wants to interject.
Noelle's definitely gonna keep her eye on the invisible person.
Oh shit,
Noelle, you will see very slowly one of those little gaps in the water begins to shrink.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see drip, drip, drip for a moment. And then the second one shrinks. Drip, drip, drip. And vanishes.
We are here because of the elders. We're trying to get the... Sorry.
Weren't we not supposed to say that?
Were we not? Oh shit, that was not in my notes.
Do you come bringing the offering from the village of Gladham?
Well, the last offering from the village is not himself anymore, so we're trying to rearrange the agreement. And she'll just put on a really big smile.
You've been sent to renegotiate. The voice.
I'm gonna go to Noelle and kind of be like,
surrounds you.
What's up?
And I'm just gonna go to Noelle and be like, oh, that was right? Or should I just shut the fuck up? I don't know, man.
I think we need to stop the other gatekeeper.
What?
She's moving.
Yeah, and Noelle, watching that stone that it was standing next to, you see on the other side of it, inside the circle now, very slowly, another gap appears in the water. It's a very slow, careful footstep is set down. And then another one.
Okay, so
I'm just gonna like whisper laugh, or not laugh, sorry. Whisper ask the party, does anyone have anything to reveal invisibility?
Ooh, I have fairy fire.
Wait, I'm confused. Are we helping the invisible old hag, or are we not helping the invisible?
I'm so torn.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that's the lady that disappeared. That's sneaking towards the gatekeeper.
I know.
I go take the shot.
A very... Adlar doesn't trust her, I know that.
He's already got like an arrow strung. He's like ready to pull behind you.
I don't trust anything.
I don't trust anything happening.
Silence! You hear the voice. Another crash of thunder, flash of light, and suddenly, standing at the mouth of the cavern,
We are talking here.
there is a humanoid figure, visible now.
Hey, can we have a minute? We didn't discuss what we were gonna say to you when we got here.
Beautiful, with long golden hair running down the sides of the face, over the shoulders. This elvish figure with very long ears, gleaming white eyes, this vivid rose red dress that shimmers like velvet.
Lauren's gonna flirt. Be like,
Wow.
wow.
We are talking here.
If you have come to renegotiate, what do you bring to offer in the stead of my request to the village of Gladham?
We came to figure out what would interest you instead of a person.
I have made my interests quite clear.
And what are your interests? Because, damn girl, you're fine.
There's a cock of the head and a small smile.
Lauren's going for it.
That's how we defeat them.
Perhaps you would be prepared to volunteer.
And this is how
She will
this is
extend a long, graceful hand in your direction.
Ooh, little old me. Will like pretend to blush and go like, "Oh, guys, this is backfiring."
Lauren's gonna get a message that says, "Please proceed very, very carefully."
This is how bards die.
I'm playing a bard druid.
It's a good
guys,
change she's
okay?
not a bard.
Main character.
Bard at heart.
Bard at heart, yes.
Druid in the streets, bard in the sheets.
Bam! That's Lauren's motto from now on.
I mean, that's true.
What happens if I go with you?
I can show you things few mortals have ever seen. And you, in turn, can show me things that perhaps I have not seen.
So you're just gonna go through my memories? And I'm gonna go through yours?
I had an open relationship with Gerald.
Yeah, no. See, I have a honey boo-boo. And I feel like this is not okay.
What is your answer, Triton?
I'm trying to figure out. No, see, I am trying to understand what this whole arrangement is, and seeing things that's kind of not clear. So I can't accept that without actual,
Noelle, you've watched as this invisible figure has quietly crept step by slow, dripping step deeper into the circle, closer towards the hill. Is there anything that you want to do as it advances?
I am so fucking torn. I don't know which is the worst problem.
Can I say out of character real quick?
Please do.
We made a vital error. We forgot to ask this old gatekeeper what her terms were with the old village to figure out which is worse.
Well, presumably her terms were whatever it was previously. I'm just not super convinced she's the old gatekeeper at this point.
I mean,
I think she's an
does it matter?
opportunistic fake creature. I think one of these things is going to lead to combat, and one of them maybe doesn't have to. That's the difference, I think, from a meta standpoint.
One of them leads to Lauren getting her ass about to. I said that weird.
Would you like me to bring attention to her, Noelle? In your head.
I'll ask a question before the invisible person gets too close.
Okay.
Do you know someone named Auntie Cotton? Gatekeeper.
I am familiar with such a being.
Who are they?
There's a pause.
Don't pause too long. She's coming.
A pause too long.
No.
You hear Auntie Cotum call out, "They're here to kill you, sis! From!" And you see the eyes on the gatekeeper flash. You watch as the hand extended out to you, Alorn begins to crackle with electricity. And next time, we are going to pick up with some initiative. So, good session, guys. We're here.
I should have taken her hand.
Well, at least making her visible wouldn't have actually changed anything.
So, yeah, I guess calling it there. It is noon on the 34th, excuse me, of the month. When the party of the Lost Emeralds loses their lives deep in the jungle. Let's vote for the MVP, shall we? It's been a while since we've done that.
There was no Will that made that one thing fall over laughing.
That was Noelle. Yep.
True, that did make combat a bit more trivial.
I think I voted Noelle for that.
Yeah.
I'd agree on that.
Fair.
She also has been rolling quite stellar in her perceptions.
I got that nat 20. Noelle. I wish that was more relevant, true. But I appreciate it.
Definitely undercut any element of surprise they had.
I guess that's true.
So, yeah, MVP Noelle, you got some inspiration.
I will pass it to whoever doesn't have it.
Gotcha.
I don't know if that's anyone.
I don't believe that I do currently. No.
Okay.
Well, you do now.
Burberry can have it.
Cool.
Or I have been using it like a pleb.
So, as far as support goes, I had one with Noelle and Barnaby with the gut check. I had one with Barnaby and Burberry during their conversation with the Anticotum, former gatekeeper. Not sure who I would give John a support with this session. Although he did kind of run to get in front of Aloran and Burberry. So.
Oh, I was saying Burberry because they're fixing the fans.
That's fair. Okay. So Nolan Barnaby, Burberry.
Sure.
And then John and Burberry. And John and Warren.